Butterbean. One of the most distinctive fighters in the history of combat sports, weighed over 190 kilograms, possessed immense courage in the ring, and had an exceptional ability to end fights in mere moments. He was like a human bear, feared by opponents and adored by the crowd. But time passes, and the blows don't just come from rivals, they come from a harsh lifestyle, excess weight, and health problems that piled up after his career ended. By the age of 58, after facing severe depression and a dangerous physical decline, Butterbean decided to fight the toughest battle of his life, a battle against himself. In this video, we explore the legendary fighter's full journey, from his unusual beginnings to his rise as an unstoppable fighter, his health struggles, and finally, his incredible comeback as he committed to a strict health regimen, losing 70 kilo in a short period. Born Eric Esch in 1966, he grew up in Alabama. He wasn't a traditional athlete, and no one expected him to shine in combat sports. He was just a heavy-set young man, far from the typical fighter's physique. One day, he decided to participate in a local boxing competition called the Toughman Contest, an amateur tournament held across various U.S. states, open to anyone who thought they could fight. No one expected this massive man, weighing over 180 kilo, to have any chance of winning. But Butterbean wasn't just a big body. He had unnatural strength and surprising speed for his size. He didn't just participate, he crushed his opponents one after another, winning championships in multiple states, earning the nickname King of Toughman. This success opened the doors to professionalism. He officially entered boxing in 1994. Butterbean's fighting style was simple but highly effective. Relentless forward pressure, constant aggression, and always looking for that one knockout punch. His physical power was immense, and his right hand was terrifying, capable of ending any fight in an instant. This strategy, combined with his massive frame and unshakable confidence, made his fights short and thrilling, which fans loved. Boxing audiences were always eager to see his ability to drop opponents quickly, making him seem like he was defying traditional fighting norms. One of the highlights of his career was his ability to end fights in under a minute. Often, his opponents would fall before they could even organize a defense. These fights turned him into a legend in super heavyweight tournaments, earning him the fan-given title of King of Quick Knockouts, as he delivered fast, devastating punches that made every match an exciting event. Some of his most notable fights showcasing his brutal and effective style. Fight versus Peter McNeely, 1999. This was one of the most anticipated matchups, as McNeely had previously fought the legendary Mike Tyson. Butterbean didn't disappoint, ending the fight with a stunning knockout, proving he didn't need a big name to assert his dominance in the ring. And his fight versus Larry Holmes, 2002. In this fight, Butterbean faced a true boxing legend. Though Holmes was older at the time, the match was a major challenge for Butterbean, exposing the limits of his style when he couldn't finish the fight early. Losing by decision was disappointing, but this fight earned him new respect as a brave fighter willing to face legends. After cementing his name in boxing as a unique fighter with supernatural knockout power, Butterbean decided to venture into one of the toughest and most comprehensive combat sports in the world, mixed martial arts, MMA. It was a bold and unconventional move for a man of his size, but it revealed another side of his personality. Unafraid of challenges, unafraid of losing, and unafraid of evolving. He fought 17 MMA bouts, winning 3 by knockout and 3 by submission. An impressive feat, considering Butterbean had no known wrestling or jiu-jitsu skills. In one of the toughest fighting arenas in the world, Butterbean faced the mighty British fighter James Thompson. Despite the difference in experience, speed, and fitness, Butterbean finished his opponent with a knockout in the first round, proving to the world that he was no ordinary fighter. After years of fighting in the rings and the cage, Butterbean decided to turn the page on a long chapter of violence, noise, and swift victories, announcing his permanent retirement from the world of combat. Behind the wide smile and the crowd-pleasing knockouts, there was a man suffering in silence. After years of fighting, traveling, and fame, Butterbean's body began to break down, and so did his spirit. By his late 50s, the toll of his lifelong battle was clear. His weight had reached dangerous levels, and his physical condition deteriorated to the point where he could barely walk short distances without pain. His knees were destroyed from years of excess weight and repeated impacts. He struggled to breathe, slept poorly, and lived without peace. But the worst wasn't just physical. In a quiet moment away from cameras, Butterbean admitted he was on the verge of collapse. He said in a shocking interview, "I was living in severe depression. I didn't want to get out of bed. I didn't even want to live anymore." Butterbean began eating enormous amounts of food as a coping mechanism, and his weight ballooned to a dangerous 240 kilos. His health declined, his heart was at risk, and his mental state became fragile. Just when it seemed hope was lost and his body had reached its breaking point, Butterbean emerged again. But this time not in a ring or cage. He stepped into a gym where he began a new battle, the fight to reclaim his health and life. At 58, after years of physical and mental decline, Butterbean decided to face his greatest opponent yet, his own health. He committed to rebuilding his body from scratch, subjecting himself to a ruthless health regimen. Diet was his first major change. After years of unhealthy eating, he cut out junk food and excess sugar, adopting a low-carb diet focused on protein and vegetables while drastically reducing calories. It was a tough transition, but his willpower was stronger than his cravings. He started a rigorous training program, including strength training, endurance exercises, and cardio. Despite his size, he didn't stick to basic workouts. He followed a custom routine to rebuild muscle strength and maintain flexibility. There was no room for rest. Every day was a new battle in his book. Beyond weightlifting, Butterbean dedicated time to aerobic exercises like brisk walking, cycling, and jogging, key for improving his heart health, which had suffered after years of poor living. One of his biggest struggles was returning to exercise after a long break. His joints ached, and every step felt heavy, but he pushed forward. He knew reaching his goals wouldn't be easy, and that his body needed time to recover. Alongside diet and exercise, Butterbean also focused on his mental health. He began seeing therapists to help with his past depression. He understood that change wasn't just physical. He needed to rebuild himself from within. In recent years, Butterbean has shown remarkable progress. His weight dropped significantly, and he became more active and energetic. He lost over 70 kilos, regaining much of his strength. Perhaps he no longer plans to return to the ring, but this journey has been for him a victory over the greatest opponent he has faced in his life: surrender. Although he may never return to professional fighting again, his rigorous health routine has granted him a second life, and he has become an example that strong willpower is not measured by age or difficult circumstances. Thus, after years of decline and setbacks, Butterbean has returned, appearing in his best shape, defying his own limits and inspiring everyone that the fighting spirit knows no bounds.
I'm good now.